Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. And a Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 3 hours, along with Spence.
Three hours?
I'm sorry, it says that, but it's not.
Wow.
Oh,
Good
and I
morning.
forgot to say
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah and Happy
Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa to everybody.
Happy Kwanzaa.
And Nick is here
I'm coming to you live from
from inside.
where am I, Spence?
You're in the one of the cargo bays of the Death Star.
Yeah, I'll be here all morning. Don't
There we go.
I'll be here live. Amnon really pulled out the stops for Christmas this year, and
There we go.
like this happened. I really appreciate it, Amnon. You're my
You're
best.
on the set of the next. You're on the set of the next movie.
Yeah, we really pulled out the stops here.
How did you pull that off? That's great.
Amnon knows a lot of people.
I mean,
trust me.
look. I mean, Nick is coming to us all the way from there, so that's hey.
That's
It's
on the
Chris-
other side.
it's
of
a
the
Christmas miracle.
I had an interesting talk.
Wait a second. Let's finish the intro. Our number is 919-518-9773 and Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is being brought to you by Adamus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. And it's made possible by Telestream Wirecast software. Now you can go, Spence.
Oh, I was just saying, I was at a Christmas gathering up in Virginia, and nephew was there who is a certified. Actually, I have two nephews who are certifiable geniuses. One is going for his doctorate in medical appliances, and the other one is an astrophysicist. My goodness! But I had a talk with him about his thesis, what he was writing about how he's using spectral analysis of stars for different elements, and I happen to have some buzzwords. So I said, "Oh, you use a laser interferometer for the blah blah," and he goes, his eyes like light up. "Oh, you understand this stuff?" And I said, "Well, at the surface, yes, but that's as far as I go." He started getting into this stuff. It's like, that's it. That's the edge of my understanding. But the Nick is coming to us from the other side of the galaxy.
And it's pretty good connection.
Which leads us to a technical question I want to throw out there at the beginning, because I actually, when I first got up this morning, Emily was sitting there and asked me, "Dad, do you have any idea how to fix something?" She posted a video on YouTube for a holiday charitable effort that they're doing through dance studios all over the country, and she edited the video on her Mac. The video looks great, different differing qualities of input, but the point was that she wanted to know, and I figured that you guys would know something about this. Is there a way, and I did look it up briefly, to force in YouTube higher quality? Now, I know it's all about internet speed, it's about device type, what you're looking at, the screen size and all that. But is there a way to try, even just suggest? What she was running into is that when you go to click on watching it on some devices, the quality is horrible. Yet they still have good internet connections.
So it depends. Well, it depends what the video was first uploaded as, and the format, and the size, and the resolution. And then based on that, if it's a mobile device, YouTube starts at mobile, which is their own transcoding, which you can't force. The user can force it if they want to, but the
publisher can't.
The publisher can't. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then on a computer, it should force to HD. But actually, no, everything forces to 480 unless you tell it otherwise, which makes sense bandwidth wise. Because if you have people that are clicking through video after video and they're not actually watching it, and you're buffering, a bunch of 720p content stacking in a row. I can see why they don't do that. I mean, if you have a YouTube account, you can sign in and tell it to start high quality, which is what I do, and everything buffers at 1080. But other than that, no, I don't think you can force a quality as a publisher.
Yeah, that's the consensus I got from a couple of the posts that I read. One guy put information and was able to at least suggest.
You can put an annotation on the video and tell people. Put an annotation on the video.
And that's what she came. That's the conclusion we came to. It's like a quick HD for high quality. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And people, who knows what they're going to watch it on. So, but and also, I said some of this is pixelated because of bad connectivity. So, all right, well, that's just confirming what I was thinking. So, thank you.
There we go.
So what did she do?
What do you mean?
What did she do about it?
Nothing yet.
Oh,
And it's just we were talking about it just before I came upstairs here to get on the show. She just wondered if there was something she could do. And I said, well, there's so many factors involved here and they're trying to make it so that every device can watch a video. Because if they forced a quality that your device couldn't handle, you'd have a blank screen.
yeah.
So it's got to start low and move up high as it can. And then I suggested maybe another streaming service to try, but I think it'll all be the same.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
So,
But I'll tell you,
Yeah.
snow is starting to pick up here. Oh, what's going on?
Wow. Well, that's actually
Ooh,
frozen carbon dioxide.
yeah, it's really
It's
starting to
cold
pick
in space.
up. Should have worn a long sleeve T-shirt. Maybe next year.
I haven't seen Rogue One yet,
Neither have I. I'm not a Star Wars fan.
and it's interesting. Some diehard, my niece and nephew who live in Williamsburg are just diehard Star Wars fan. He had a room before he had kids dedicated to Star Wars. I mean, every toy and thing he had in the original boxes, just lining the shelves in this room. But he liked it. She was like, "Nah, my least favorite Star Wars movie." So it's mixed.
Star Wars, I think, if you, I don't know how far I want to get into this. I'll piss a lot of people off. I don't know. I think part of the Star Wars drive, I think, was seeing it when you were younger than you are now. I think that was my problem with Star. My father wasn't into Star Wars. I was never introduced to Star Wars, and by the time I was already a teenager. And that was, I mean, the graphics in those movies are I think they're pretty mediocre if you look at them retrospectively.
Oh, it was originally a lot of it was there was no CGI.
It was garbage. I mean, the movies
Yeah.
really weren't that good. But when like kids my age were like 5 or 6 and they went to see the movie with their grandfather, their uncle, their father, and it's this whole thing. I just wasn't into that, and I don't see how I could get into it now. I mean, I've watched the movies. I think they're mediocre. I'm not a big Star Wars fan.
I never got into Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek, I'm a fan and I like to watch it. I mean, I don't know
Are
that
you a
I'll go
Trekkie?
stand the what?
Are you a Trekkie?
Well, I don't know that I would call myself a Trekkie, but I like to sit and watch it. And when they play on the BBC now all day long, I mean, I'll go and watch it when I'm in the living room. I like to watch it, but I'm not going to go stand in line to watch a movie. But Star Wars, I never got into. I don't know.
Well, for
Yeah.
me, it was 78 or 77. So I was 22. And it was a big deal from my friends. We went to see it and we
Yeah.
loved it. At the time, it was the quality was amazing. And then what we were disappointed in, my kids got introduced to it later. And what we were disappointed in was that we had the original 3 VCR tape set. And then they came out with the new edition, which George Lucas cleaned up the CGI and added new scenes, and everybody was pissed because of that, because he changed the movie. And
Would you agree, Spence, that if you were 22 today watching the original Star Wars, you'd say that's a crappy movie?
oh, you'd say it's a joke. You know, it's like,
And that's the thing, and that's like the cardinal sin with the thing saying you're not a Star Wars fan, and I mean they're ready to burn you at the stake for whatever reason. But that's kind of my reaction to it. I didn't see it when I was younger, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to watch. I mean, I've watched them, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense now.
to me, Star Wars was as fascinating and captivating as Close Encounters of the Third Kind was. That was about the same time. It came out around the same time. And I just like science fiction. I like science fiction. I still love Forbidden Planet. And that's as corny as you can get. I mean, Robbie the Robot and all this other stuff. But it's just, I appreciate the movie for probably put myself into the mindset of the time it was produced. I just watched
Exactly.
2 old movies that were amazing, and I'm like, I'm so excited this is on. My family was like, oh, come on, Dad, this is crap. One was Earth versus the Flying Saucers. It was Ray Harryhausen's uh, Flying Saucers, all done with stop action photography. And it was actually the inspiration for Mars Attacks, the Tim, what's his face movie that was out a number of years ago. That it was, the whole movie was an homage to this original movie, but the movie was incredible. It was corny as anything, but I remember watching it when I was a kid. It was amazing. And the other one was the Thing from Outer Space, which is shortened to The Thing in the remake, about the vegetable creature that they find up in the Arctic and fight.
Vegetable creature.
It was like, oh, it's made out of vegetable matter.
You guys, I'm sure, have seen the movie Blob.
Yes, the original Steve McQueen one.
Yeah, yes, the original Blob.
Yes.
It's you watch that today and you're like, this is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It is arguably the worst thing I've ever seen.
But for the time and for the expectations, and
exactly.
It was like the creature from the Black Lagoon. And
my grandmother talks about it. She said she was terrified seeing it as a child.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's the thing. It's all this stuff is time based, and it's unfortunate. But I'm just a little. I think I was just. I'm too late for Star Wars. Too late now. Which sucks because everybody that likes it really people are really enthusiastic about it. But who knows?
Well, I did like the new movie that continued the original saga, but we'll see what happens with the Rogue One and the new Han Solo prequel that they're working on. That's going to come out. So they're creating a whole new universe or a whole new extension of the universe. So.
All right. Well, it's Christmas time. So what did everybody get? What did everybody look forward to? What do we get high tech on Christmas? What happened?
Nothing yet.
You got nothing. What are you doing here?
Yeah. We don't have Christmas yet till the kids get here. So.
Ah, gotcha.
And then are you going to open your presents, Spence?
Yeah. Oh, I know what I got Pam, and she knows. Actually, she knows what she got too.
What are you looking forward to, Spence? What are you getting?
I don't know because I usually get what I want when I want it. So that's the problem.
You sound like everybody else I talk to that's over the age of like 30. Oh, what do you want? Oh, I'll buy it when I want it anyway.
Yeah, so I'll get clothes. Actually, this is something I got. You have to stand up here to show you.
Wow.
Moose pants.
Are they high tech? They light up. They got some LEDs in them.
But they were purchased in Maine. When we were up in Maine this summer.
They have heaters in.
I was actually there when they were purchased. I said, "Don't look at this." Okay. That's it. I mean, Nick, when you get old and married like that, it's just the way it is.
All right. So
there'll be some surprises from the kids that I know, especially my son. Like last year, he gave me that Blue Driver diagnostic module, which is awesome. I mean, excellent. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the Echo went over great. They're loving the Echo.
They are.
Amazon, yeah, they're loving it. They're sitting down there. They're just telling it to say stuff.
Which one?
The big one, the biggie. And I got that, and I got one of those TP-Link plugins that works with the Alexa. I haven't set that up yet, but that.
Oh, you mean an outlet or something?
Yeah, an outlet thing.
Nick, it's interesting because it's exactly what my daughter had installed. It was over doing this remodel thing, and yesterday she texts me. She says, "Ask Alexa to play music," and I didn't realize she had it hooked up. So she has the Echo Dot.
Okay.
And one of those TP-Link switches. She says, "Ask it to turn on the living room light."
Yeah.
I was, okay. She's got it all going.
And this is the thing. We've had Siri's been around Siri's been around forever. Google's had, Android and Google have had their little voice assist thing. Those services are garbage because they take so long to search. If I ask Siri right now something, it'll search and then it'll just spit me out some text, most likely. Siri, when do the Steelers play? And it just it's not as quick. When you ask the Alexa something, it's instant. I think Amnon will back me up on this. You don't
That's
even have
'cause
time to finish what you're saying before it's already returned and started reading.
Siri is here's the analogy. Siri is a woman operator sitting in a data center somewhere looking through a paper manual to find your answer.
Exactly.
Alexa is your date hanging on your shoulder, right? with a martini saying, "What?"
It's as quick as, hey, play Christmas music, and it's instantly playing Christmas music from Amazon, and the song starts. There's no buffer, there's no wait time. It's so quick. If it wasn't quick, it would be garbage. It wouldn't work.
I did that with I said play Billy Joel, right away it starts. I said play Tom Petty, starts right away. It's just, you're right.
Super quick.
Yeah, it's more mature.
Well, I just think it's a more it's for something to be useful as a device that you just passively ask it to do things. It needs to be quick. The reason I don't use Siri, and the reason a lot of people don't use Siri, is because if it doesn't know, if you don't ask it specifically the way it likes it, all it does is it spits out your question you asked it and then pulls up a Google search result.
Or it gets it so wrong that it's like, this is useless. I can't use this.
And
I said, well, how do I get to this place? And it says, well, a banana weighs 6 ounces. It's like, what?
I don't need Siri to pull up a Google listing. I'm more than capable of doing that. So that's pretty neat.
It's definitely the bomb.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll do some cool stuff with that. Hey, Amnon.
Yes.
I don't know if this is inappropriate or not. The basement is done. I have some pictures. Are you interested in seeing some of that stuff?
Absolutely.
So we did this
you doing your weather stuff from there still?
No, not this isn't any of my stuff down there. This is Spencer will appreciate this. We just redid our basement. Previously was a room like this. It was finished, but it just your typical sheetrock and wood panel, that kind of stuff. This was our demolition process, and it was just a typical finished basement, and then this is the end result of the new room, all with the rustic wood and all that stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah, we just wrapped that up today. So got delivered.
We ate in a restaurant up in Williamsburg, a new place that was the entire interior on one wall was old doors.
Yep. And
it was 3 stories high. Old doors, old panel doors.
That was this like kind of rustic theme. Every wall is just stained wood.
That's cool.
Yep.
And I've been in houses recently being prepared for sale where people are painting over real wood.
Why? Why don't that's
because real estate agents say it has to be white and the walls are gray and the trim is white. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So I'm setting up some high tech stuff down there. Right. I've got a Roku, a Steam Link, and an Amazon Fire TV down there on a non-smart TV. So we'll see. Here's the thing, and this is the thing I'm constantly. So Time Warner Cable charges you like $11 a month for one of those cable boxes. It's the biggest scam in the world.
11.
Yeah, for one of the small.
A regular box. A regular digital box.
Yeah, digital box. They charge like $11 for one. It's a ripoff, especially if you have like 5 of them in your house. It's an extra $60 or $70 a month.
You don't have the option of the little $3.95 converter.
They don't have that here yet. We're not digital. So my great idea was put a Roku down there. The Time Warner Cable app on the Roku is I think it's better than the cable boxes themselves. So my goal is I have to convince my parents not to pick up the remote and type in the channel, but to use the Roku remote and surf the channels that way. That's kind of my thing that's kind of ticking me off right now is how do you tell somebody that for their entire they're in their 40s for their entire it's always been type in the channel. Now it's like, oh, don't type in the channel. Use this, purple remote.
What you do is what I would do in this case, and I had to do it to show Marshall how to do it. You go down there, and you create the quote unquote shortcuts or the channel.
I did all that. It's already all set up.
Yeah. So and then so what can they do if without? I mean, is
The problem
this
is there's still coax in the TV,
is
so they
but
can just pound in your channel and it comes up.
no, but I mean, is there a box down there?
No, I'm using the Roku. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you don't have to tell them anything.
Well,
I
I
mean,
do because then. So this is my problem. I went down there yesterday, and my
Yeah.
father was watching standard definition cable,
oh, because
and I'm like,
they're-
"What?" I'm like, "What the hell are you
I
doing?
see.
Like, we've got this box here. Oh, it's easier to just type in the channel.
Well,
So that's
take the remote away.
How do you turn the TV on?
Take the remote away.
So that's what's frustrating me right now.
It's fine. They'll get used
Yeah.
to it. It's
'Cause it's
just
great.
a matter.
It's great
Yeah.
that all the channels are in HD. I
Yep.
do have to get a net switch because it's two stories from the Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi is a little slow. But I'm gonna get a net switch for Ethernet. But yeah, that was a successful project.
No,
down there.
that's yeah. They'll get it's. Come on, you
I'm
can't
hoping.
expect them. You can't expect them to get into it within a couple of hours. You know, give it
'Cause
time.
it's so much easier. It's the Roku app is so much better than watching a fuzzy standard definition channel.
Yeah, I'm still.
And we do get over the air channels, which are nice. Those are easy. Those are better to watch, but that whole process. So
I think
We'll
the
see.
next thing you need, Nick, is an Alexa controlled food replicator.
food replicator.
Yeah,
What
just say this is a Star Trek technology.
Star Trek technology?
Tea, hot, Earl Grey.
I think I'm gonna get one of those remotes, the little Alexa remote for the basement, maybe, and then have it talk to it because I think that works. Do you have
It
one of those,
will
Amon? Do you have the remote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it have the microphone in it?
Oh yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
for mainly.
Does the remote have a speaker?
No, I don't think so. I
So if
never.
you're like in the next room and Alexa can't hear you, and you ask the remote, what the
Right.
hell, what
Yeah.
use does it do?
Then you're just gonna have to listen to Alexa.
Ah.
That's a
Interesting.
good point.
Maybe
I
I'll
don't
get
know.
a dot then or something, or the small one for the basement.
I don't
All right.
remember it having a
Family is
speaker, no.
here.
All
I'll
right.
have to do. I will.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Nick. Have fun today.
Yes. Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll do my best to try to check back in if I can.
Merry Christmas.
Hope
Yeah,
everybody has a Merry
we're not
Christmas.
gonna do it. We may do an hour, and that's because Spence has
Okay.
to go also, and it's fine.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
When
Christmas,
did Hanukkah start? Last night at sundown.
Yep. We
So
lit,
Hanukkah-
we'll lit
Hanukkah's
the
full
candles.
effect. What's that? How
Amnon
many
got
candles
it.
is that?
Amnon got a brand new Mercedes
Yeah,
last night
right.
for Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you gonna get tonight? Good
brand-
lord.
Brand new chocolate bowl kind of Donna gave me for Hanukkah, like a bunch of I don't know. It's a ball. It's a ball that has a bunch of chocolates in it. I said, yeah, I needed that, don't I?
How many days of Hanukkah?
8.
Oh, 8. Okay.
So
you got
next Saturday, it's the last candle.
and that's at sundown. You do that. You light the
Yeah.
candle at sundown every day.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I hope everybody has a great one. Get what you want. Call in next week with your questions. It's only with your issues. It's inevitable. happen.
Yeah, it's always a great show.
Yeah.
I
I
got this
will,
thing and I can't get it to work.
I will see everybody next week. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry
and,
Christmas, and say the same to your family.
Will do. Thank you. See you guys later. Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
All right.
I just
Let's-
tried to do a screen cap to show a picture in XSplit, and it's not working right. I just got a blank area. I'm gonna play around with this again. I don't know why. Something changed.
Um, we keep hearing about ransomware,
Oh,
and apparently now there is a piece of software, free software that you can download and install and go read about it. It's called Ransom Free, and it's at https://ransomfree RANSOMFREE ransomfree dot cybereason. It's you know what? Let me type it in here. Well, for the people that go and come afterwards. Ransomfree that cybereason, that's cybereason.com, cybereason.com, and you can download and install it, and it's supposed to prevent these things from coming. And I read about it, and it is very interesting how it works. It doesn't do it by a list of certain patterns. It's actually looking at patterns on the fly to see if something is trying to do something to your files. And part of it was they put a few files in the folder, and they never said why they put these, but somebody figured out that what happens is if a piece of ransomware is starting to work to encrypt your files, it starts right there within that folder that they put the stuff, and these are junk files. So by the time it's done with that, they flag it down. So it's interesting how.
So this runs. You install it, and it runs in the background. Does
yeah.
it work with every browser?
Yeah. Yeah, and they said that it's not that. It's not. It doesn't take much resources.
And this outfit.
I think they were talking about somewhere that the name of the guy that was talking, that they interviewed, who was telling them stuff, it's an Israeli name. So I don't know if the company is in Israel or he
Well,
just.
it says here,
works there.
Cybereason is a company of elite former military cybersecurity experts. Our deep experience in offensive cyber operations help us build military-grade technologies that enable companies to stop attacks in real time.
Oh,
Over $90 million invested from companies like Lockheed Martin and Japanese telecommunication giant SoftBank. The company and its technologies are featured in Fortune and Forbes.
yeah,
So it's free.
it's free. It's free for
free.
home use.
For home use. Oh, that's good. Well, I figured that's got to make their money someplace.
Yeah, it's free for home use.
Well, that'll be good. This is something I'd like to install for my.
For anybody I mean, we keep saying about backups, but a lot of people don't do backups. So anybody, especially for people who are not techie and don't know how to react when they see something going on, because your virus scanner may come up and say, hey, something is trying to do something here, and you don't know what to do. And by the time you call somebody to ask, your files are encrypted. So, I mean, it's a good thing to have on every computer.
If you're interested in a company too, just type in cybereason.com. There's a link available in the page about the ransom free.
Yeah.
But you go through and look at their products, services. This is quite an operation. You can subscribe, you can install this on your corporate platform. They've got a lot of good info. They got white papers here, case studies, research, partner papers. So just about this stuff in general, it looks like they're on top of this.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Definitely,
I will try it on one of my auxiliary machines.
Yeah. So Spence,
So Amnon,
Consumer Reports made some waves this week about the MacBook Pro laptop.
not recommending it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it
it's
could be
not
just
like it's not
over expensive and underpowered.
and it's not like they just didn't say anything. They recommend not to buy it. And
Yeah.
there's got to be something there that it's really bad. I mean, I don't know. I never used one, so I don't know what can be so so bad. So are you saying it's underpowered? I mean, did you read
No,
some more stuff?
I'm suggesting that.
Oh,
So it says one of the stories that's here is
it
about the
says, oh,
battery.
yeah, they said the battery life results were highly inconsistent
Yeah.
from one trial to the next. And remember last week we had a story about the fact that they took out, in order to solve that problem, they took out the indicator of how much battery is left.
Yeah.
So
makes
people,
sense.
come on.
What you don't know won't hurt you
Yeah.
until it breaks.
They say that the 13-inch touch bar model saw battery life of 16 hours in one test and 3.75 hours in another. Now, that doesn't mean much because it all depends what the test did.
Well, it looks like their main beef is the battery. They said the machine did well. Just finished evaluating the laptops did very well in measuring of display quality and performance, but in terms of battery life,
Oh,
found
yeah,
the
it's all,
models.
but you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Complaints about the MacBook Pro batteries have been popping up online since the laptops first went on sale in November. So they said it's not. I mean, if this is a very good reason to not recommend it. Think about what good is a machine. I don't care how good it is if it doesn't last
Yeah,
long.
and it's a laptop.
And you can't
Yeah.
patch this with software, then hey, that's a problem.
Yep. Yeah.
I have a customer who had I've talked about this already, had a MacBook Air, one of the original machines, and was using it for Parallels to run some Windows apps,
Yeah.
and now has gone over to Windows with brand new Lenovo. Forgive me, I can't remember the name. Carbon laptops that are absolutely amazing. The only criticism they have is that some people had some problems with the keyboards.
I mean, were they talking about what kind of problems with the keyboards? I mean, is it keyboard?
Key caps popping off.
Ooh.
That's for a $1,500 machine. You should not be having.
Yeah,
trouble.
no, you should not. I agree 100%.
But apparently,
Jeez.
Lenovo is addressing it. So apparently, they had a supplier issue. So, and that's the one thing you want when you spend that kind of money on your machine. You want the look and feel to be really good. You don't want it to feel cheesy. But this is made out of carbon fiber, so it's going to be probably more flexible, I would think. But then again,
And
this is the fastest machine I've ever had. The 8-way processor that I've got, and so I feel like I finally, even though this isn't the latest greatest Windows i7, which I could not afford, this is an FX. I feel like I've finally caught up with a reasonably decent machine after having such older, slower machines for so many years.
And this morning you had problems with the video driver.
And it wasn't the machine, it was Windows.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Windows 10.
But I'm happy. Like this snow in the background now on the old machine would be choppy and freezing and all kinds of problems. But I do have a problem with XSplit. I don't know what's going on here with the why I can't show a screen capture.
Well,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
There's something's going on.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
The playtime to sit down.
So last week, the FBI arrested a 26-year-old Southern California man for launching a DDoS attack against online chat service Chatango at the end of 2014 and in early 2015, part of a new crackdown on the customers of DDoS for Hire services. So he hired these kids or whoever to launch a DDoS attack. And now the FBI is cracking down on these services and on the people that use them, obviously. And it's about time. I mean, why do you have to wait until let's put it this way, until some international or national or a big service gets DDoSed before you do something about it? I mean, if a person complains that somebody is launched a DDoS against them, a DDoS is against the law. Why can't they do something about it there and then?
Think about it. It's resources. It's
We're paying taxes. I'm paying taxes just like Chitango.
I know, but you think about it. They're going to go after what's the term? The biggest bang for the buck. So they're going to wait until they've got some serious I shouldn't say. I'm sure the people that do this would love to go after everybody, but they have to look and say, all right, so we can get this guy and it affects 10 people, and we get this guy and it affects 1 million people. Which one are we going to go for? So I see the reasoning to an extent. Oh, Amnon, if you want a 24-inch curved monitor, it's only $169.
No, I don't.
But if you get enough of them, you buy 20 of them and you put them in a circle,
you get seasick.
it could be awesome.
It's,
You could look in any direction. Imagine, I could build a room around that. I wonder how many I'd need to complete the circle and have the same, with having a smooth circle.
Hey, I know it's Christmas and I know the economy is on the way up and all that now that Trump is in, but I don't think you can afford that.
I know I can afford it. I don't have to question that one.
So a lot of people in this country wish they were actually Canadians.
Who?
Canada's telecommunication watchdog has ordered internet service providers to offer an unlimited data plan for home internet access and to issue easy to understand bills. The new rules are part of an overhaul of the country's internet service that the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunication Commission, the CRTC, announced last Wednesday. The CRTC declared broadband internet access a basic service across the country, just like current landline telephone service. They also significantly increased target speeds for broadband internet to 50 down and 10 up, 10 times the existing speed targets. It's becoming a utility over there. I mean, they have to offer it to everybody.
But you know what?
Right.
This stuff, when they mandate stuff like this, it almost never works out. Really.
Right. Of course it doesn't.
It'll become, because the only way they can provide the service that is required is to dumb everybody down.
They have to make money.
Different tiers of service that were available. Everything will get pushed down to what they can do realistically, reliably for everyone, which is a lower speed.
Yep.
And lousy service.
Yep.
So, oh well.
But it's still, I mean, there's a lot of people here that, I mean, they take and they give it to them.
It's my right to have internet service. Yep. It's a UN said it was a human right.
Yeah.
To have internet service.
Human right.
So they're dropping antennas into the Amazon. That's what I heard anyway.
And this was kind of a shocker. Twitter is toast as a company, and stock is not even worth $10.
I can't sell it.
According to a research note published last Tuesday, following the departure of another top executive at the social media service. The microblogging platform chief technology officer, Adam Messinger, tweeted that he would leave the company and take some time off, while Josh McFarlane, vice president of product at Twitter, also said he was exiting the company. Both executives announced their departure on Tuesday. That's, I'm wondering if this is a backlash from pre-election bias. I don't know.
Probably.
The there was in a sort of like related, pre-election and all that. Listen to this dumbass. A senior executive at Oracle
Oh, yes.
has
Go ahead.
publicly
This is good.
resigned after the technology company co-CEO Safra Katz, the CEO of Safra Katz, joined the Trump transition team and expressed support for the president-elect. Katz had attended 2 weeks ago, meeting of tech leaders at Trump Tower. And prior to the meeting, he said, I plan to tell the president-elect that we are with him and will help in any way we can if he can reform the tax code, reduce regulation, and negotiate better trade deals. The U.S. technology industry will be stronger and more competitive. And this guy, George Polisner, who had worked at Oracle on and off since 1993, on and off, that's another, posted his resignation letter to LinkedIn outlining concern over Trump's choice of cabinet, tax, and environment policy, as well as the stoking of fear and hatred toward minorities. What a dumbass. They showed a picture. Wait, they showed a picture of him with his 2 kids clinging to him. Here is a person who makes decision, not thinking about the family. And it said that he's at a certain point in his life that he can make a statement. What in the world? I don't understand that. Nope, you're muted.
I was coughing.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
You know what it is? It's like you've got people who, no matter what the outcome, they still want their way, and I realize that. Well, you can't have that. You can't get what you want when you don't have the. It's kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird expectation. It's like I expect to get this, even though the current. Oh, how do I explain it? I don't mean to sound mean.
As far as I'm concerned,
I still want what I want, even though the world is on fire. Right? You can't. Well, I want to live on the space station. Well, sorry, you can't. Well, no, that's what I want. You have to do it for me because that's what I want. So no, there isn't the money or the means or the sort. You can't do it. No, but that's what I want. So it's just it's an immaturity of thought that you.
He did. In that article at the end, he did say that he thinks he made the wrong decision, not the smartest decision by resigning at this point in his life. But think about these things. You are not living there alone. You have a family. What's the difference? Who is there if you feel bad about who won? You're a provider to your family.
Well, did you see the other story that came out this week?
No, what?
No. It said liberals all over America have suddenly become interested in prepping.
Oh, jeez.
And that this is statistically proven now. It says fearing that a Trump presidency would rapidly evolve into Trump apocalypse.
Oh,
significant number of leftists are now stockpiling food, guns, and emergency supplies. And that all of a sudden the shoe is on the other foot, and they condemn you for feeling the way you're feeling. Say, well, I felt, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's how I felt at one point. But it says that this is proven through statistics about background checks for guns were at an all-time high on Black Friday. Well, if the election had gone a certain way, why did that happen? And they said they tried to drill down. They said, "Oh, it's a different story now because it's interesting just to see how
I don't know
how people react." But that was it.
Andrew put something. Andrew Zarian put something in the in our hangout this weekend. He said he went down to the neighborhood bar and he was sitting there. There were two girls that one of them was saying that she's really afraid now. And her girlfriend said, why? And she said, because Trump is president and he hates Jews. And she was Jewish. And Andrew said he turned around and he said,
His son-in-law is
Trump?
Jewish.
well, that means his daughter is.
Yes.
And an
It's crazy.
Orthodox one at that.
Yep.
And he told her. And she said, no, I don't believe it. And he told her, he said, you know, her friend said, I'm going to go Google it. And she came back and she said, you know, it's true. And that girl said, well, I don't give an F. And she stormed out. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Even if you prove to them that something is wrong. No,
Confronted with
it's
reality.
still not good.
Yeah. Well, there was a story
It's ridiculous.
on the radio, local talk show, where they're talking about changes to Obamacare, and the guy called in and said nobody's forced to buy this, and the radio host said, no, you're forced to buy it.
Yep.
Well, no, you're not.
Mhm.
And he goes, yeah, it's in the law. You have to buy insurance or pay a penalty. He goes, they would never do that. And he said, no, you do. And the guy argued and argued and argued.
Yeah.
And, he said, okay, go research. I'm going to read the bill. I said, yeah, go ahead and read all 8,000 pages of it or whatever it is. And he said, but yes, you can find the summary of it. It is required.
Yeah.
And the guy would not believe it. And well, you know, why do you want to get rid of it? Nobody has to buy it. He was like, yes, they do. And this is the kind of stuff that there are people out there who are so badly informed that it's almost
Well,
sad.
you know what? A devil advocate here. You don't have to buy it. A lot of people don't buy it, but you have to buy it if you don't have insurance through your employer
Well,
or
he
through
was
somewhere
denying
else.
that there was he was denying that there was a penalty for not
Yeah,
buying it.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Merle. It's just amazing that it suddenly it's like a one-way thing. It's the way that I say it is, and I don't care that the whole country and the law says something else. This is the way it is in my head.
You know, there are all kinds of articles I've read about what is it called, cognitive dissonance, and these other things that you're affected by, where you cannot accept because you're so heavily invested in a certain reality that you cannot. It's very difficult. And I mean, I get slammed all the time with my personally reading something and then finding out later, well, that's not exactly right. And I might be disappointed by the fact that it isn't right, or I believe something that isn't true, but I get over it. And I don't say, oh no, I will never believe that, even if you have evidence. It's just, it's very strange, and it's sad because I think we're fostering that a lot in a lot of people, because it doesn't matter what reality is. You have to be comfortable with something that you can believe in. It's like, no, reality is going to hit you really hard if you had to survive and you're in denial about the skills that you need to survive. For example, I can think of a perfect example of having gone through the college admission process, when the college, knowing about a friend's child applying for college and saying, well, in order to get accepted into this school, you need to submit evidence of your work. This was a specialty school.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid didn't want to do it. Well, do you want to go there? Yes. I shouldn't have to do that. Well, it's required that you submit work to show that you are qualified to go into this program, because this is like an extended program. Why should I have to do that? Because they're telling you have to. Well, that's wrong. I said, well, do you want to go there? Yes. You have to do it. No, I don't want to. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That, yeah, I want to be an astronaut. I want to live on the space station. Well, you have to have a science background, and you have to get chosen for astronaut candidate school, and you have to be picked, and you have to go through training. Why? Because you have to.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to. It just doesn't make any sense that you can adults can have that kind of an attitude that um, I don't want to do all the preparation. I just want it.
I just want it to be. Yeah. I want to be a brain surgeon where you have to go to medical school. No, I want to be a brain surgeon right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds silly, but there
Yeah.
are people who actually do have a form of that thinking, and
Yeah.
it's more sad than anything else. I mean, it's funny at first that people can actually think that way, but
Hey, Merle.
Hey,
How are
how's it
you?
going, fellas?
Pretty good.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So
What's happening?
to make things a little nice for the holiday. Holidays are time when many of us get some extra time to catch up on all the good movies and TV shows that our friends wanted us to watch.
extra time. What's
but,
that?
Yeah, I guess. But we never did. To make things enticing for people, Amazon and Google are prepping for lowering the rent this holiday season. From a report on Fortune, Google and Amazon, which have been jostling to compete with Netflix in video streaming, have announced a new online promotion for the holidays. Google Play will allow viewers to select any movie available on the streaming service to rent for 99 cents. Amazon Video will allow viewers the same using the promo code MOVIE99. There's a catch. Users can only get one movie per account. Both services offer an extensive list of titles, including this year's Suicide Squad, Bridget Jones' Baby, and Finding Dory, among others. So 99 cents. You can rent one movie from Google and one from Amazon. Yeah.
And how are they getting the word out about this? Because
I have no idea. I mean, this is the story here, so I have no idea how they.
As long as it's not some movie I don't care. If it's a pretty close to first run movie, that might be
Yeah.
interesting. But
So what's up, Merle?
How are we, fellas? I just thought I'd tune in for
Merry
a second. I got
Christmas.
20 minutes and saw it was just you and Spence. Thought I would dial in to see what you guys were saying and doing. And
Oh, just
we're solving all the world's problems
Yeah.
here.
I know it sounded like it. I mean, I appreciate you guys having the show on a Sunday. I mean, that's what I call dedication for sure.
Mm,
yeah,
that's because we have no lives.
right.
Well,
That's it.
And I'm kind of being stingy because Amnon knows I just updated my internet, so I'm testing out how well my update or my up speeds are. So
Yeah, it's nothing like you ever been here before. I mean, it's a nice picture and sync and all that.
yeah, I'm extremely happy. I tell you, I mean, you were talking about Amazon. I'm a big fan now, Amnon, especially since I bought that Echo. I think we've talked about that before.
Right.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, with Google and their power and might with Google Home. But right now, I mean, the Echo's upstairs playing Christmas music. I mean, it just added such a nice flavor to Christmas and we're having family over at about 10:30 and to eat breakfast. So, I mean, I'm in love with the Echo. So I can't wait to see, how it grows and matures. And who knows, like I said, Home might come out and with the Google backbone, right? I mean, Home might surpass Echo, but I mean, Amazon is just a machine right now.
We were talking about it earlier with Nick because he got one, and he said that the family is just is all drooling over it. I mean, they're just talking to and telling things and just using it.
Yeah.
And he said it went over very well. So,
Yeah, I mean they're amazing. I mean, setting timers and like I said, I can't wait. I'm going to integrate it sooner or later with some of the wireless lights and things. But and like I said, Amazon, you were talking about. I guess you said you could rent a movie for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I've become a huge fan of some of Amazon's. What do you call them? It's kind of like their series, like The Man in the High Castle. I don't know. If you guys
mean
have
their
seen that.
own?
Oh yes, I'm watching it.
Phenomenal. I mean, I think Hollywood better be afraid. I mean, with movies and things, because I mean, the production value of this stuff And I mean, I binged watch it, Spencer, because I watched the first season, had to wait forever for season 2, but season 2
Yeah.
came out, and I think it took me like 2 days. But if you guys haven't watched that and your Prime customers, check out Man in the High Castle. It's an interesting show.
Yeah, I eagerly awaited the second season, and actually went back and watched they produced a recap episode, which instead of being just 5 minutes was, I don't remember how long ago, but it was did a really good job of recapping season 1. And then rewatched the last 2 episodes of season 1 before I started watching season 2, just because I wanted to be fresh.
Right.
But yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Yeah. I can't wait for season 3 now. Cause like I said, I unfortunately I binged watched season 2 in 2.5 days. So
Yeah.
I'm eagerly awaiting season 3. And apparently I guess it is a book or a series of books that came out. I've never read the books.
Philip K. Dick wrote the books, but unfortunately he never finished it.
Oh,
So it's gonna be open, and they're starting to say now that it's loosely based on it, but they're true to the whole concept of multiple universes and all that, which is
Right.
which is the underlying theme in the whole. And Heisenberg was an actual person. This guy existed. He was a German scientist, and one of the first ones to write about multiple universes, multiple realities. So yeah, it's a cool show. It had, the first season had some dull episodes. I mean, they were finding themselves, and the series creator, Frank Spotnitz, has left for some reason. There was some controversy, and he took off and is no longer associated with the show. But he was the primary drive behind it, and it's still mentioned in the credits. But it'd be interesting to see what happens from a showrunner perspective.
right.
But yeah, there's
Well-
a couple of other really good Netflix productions out there too.
Just the
It's
fact
just
that they're doing these means a lot. Has a lot of it. It has an impact. There is no doubt.
I remember reading about this, how they said that individual series productions were at an all-time high. There were over 450 in production. But they said the problem with this is that it can't last. It's great because a lot of people working, a lot of people finding work as actors, lots of innovation out there. But just like most pilots, you only pick one out of, I forget what the statistics are, but one out of every 15 or so actually make it to being a series. But now they have more places to show them. So it's pretty amazing. But
Yeah, but I'm with you, Merle. Hollywood would better pay attention here.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
don't-
they can put out crap, and the thing that bothers me about Hollywood is, we end up putting them on pedestals and thinking what they say is what is the right way of thinking. I mean, I won't get political here, but I'm just so sick of them that this has opened up another avenue. And some of these people do cross over and have crossed over, but for the most part, it seems like the people who are in these productions are maybe B-listers. But I mean, so I'm excited, and competition's always good, right? So
Absolutely. And I don't think that Hollywood is going to be able to get into this.
well,
They're-
it's really, you're still talking about the same skills and trades, and it's what they're eliminating is the giant Hollywood production houses from being the overseers of these efforts, where they're selling them without their help. But they're still, I was just looking at a story the other day saying that Disney, has just made a fortune because they keep turning out blockbusters, and I don't see it. I was wondering what they're talking about, but they're saying that Disney has been very successful as a large studio, and that others are struggling, and mainly because they show stuff that people don't want to see. So it's they just have this in their mind that they know better.
Yeah.
It's always amusing to see an activist actor come out with a movie. Oh, I'm going to make a statement with this movie, and it just absolutely goes on. It never gets anywhere, and they lose millions
Mhm.
making this movie, and they wonder why nobody likes it. Merle, do you watch um, anything on Netflix? Any
I have. I'm trying to think. I started liking Orange is the New Black, but there's just too much, sex in it that it just, it
yeah,
wasn't my cup of tea,
I agree that some of it is just way over the top.
Right. And that's one thing I've noticed, which I haven't watched a lot on Amazon, but it seems like Amazon is a little more what I'll say family friendly. I mean, it, some of the Netflix stuff is really, I mean, like if I had to put a rating on Orange is the New Black, it would probably be close to X or at least
Right, yeah.
NC-17. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're into that kind of stuff, that's great. But I mean, I've got a 9-year-old and I like the story behind Orange is the New Black. It was neat about a bunch of women in prison and how they survive. But I just wish they could have like toned all the sex
Well,
down
but
a
the
little bit.
thing, but the thing you have to remember is they are catering. Also, who's paying for these accounts? They're adults, and what adults want to watch and all that. So maybe I don't know if they have it or not. Do they have any kind of a filter that you can say, okay, this account can only see? Do they have ratings?
They do. So I mean, now it depends on what version of application or hardware that you're running. I know we can set up profiles. So my daughter, if she's on the right device, can log on under her profile.
Yeah.
And I set it up as a kid's profile, so
Okay.
she can't see all that.
Okay.
But the last version I saw is she could still pick my profile because it wasn't like password protected. You just pick the profile. So I haven't looked into any of the newer devices. I mean, I've got what do we use? The Roku. I forget which version of it is, and it allows her to select a profile, but she can actually at this time select any profile she wants. I haven't been able to see where I could restrict it, but now now that I say that out loud, you can put in a parental code, and it requires you to put in that code in order to watch movies, however you set it, PG-13 or above or R.
Mhm.
So yeah, there are ways to
Okay.
restrict that.
Yeah. So that's right. I mean, you have to put some effort into making sure.
There are two things on Netflix that I'd recommend just because they're done so well. One was Narcos, which I understand is actually going to come back now that they've gone through the complete Pablo Escobar arc. They're going to continue now with the Cali cartel, which is interesting. And the second one is The Crown, which was recently released. It's about a young Queen Elizabeth II. And that's been pretty interesting too. But just these independent, I don't know if they're independent. You look at the producers of behind this stuff, and it's there are, like you said, Merle, there's a lot of overlap between Hollywood types. Another good one on Netflix is called Halt and Catch Fire, and it's about the early days of computer manufacturing and gaming. And it's a drama. I mean, it's just got the same dramatic stuff that goes on, but it's just kind of an interesting show.
Huh.
That is actually produced by I think it's AMC, but the current season is not available on Netflix yet, but you can get.
But the point here though is that it's becoming a real contender and a real competition.
Right.
It-
Yeah,
it-
absolutely. I mean,
and
my
that's-
daughter is a huge fan of Netflix, and I don't know if you guys, it probably was, after you were adults, but when I was growing up, there was a show called Full House. Well,
Mhm.
Fuller House is about the kids who are grown up and adults raising their own kids, kind of in the same house they grew up in. But that was only released. I think it might have been released on TV, but it didn't make it. But it's a huge success on Netflix.
I thought it was just Netflix.
It might be. I mean, it's
Yeah.
and she loves to watch it, and we watch it as a family. I mean, so
Yeah,
I mean,
it is good. It is family safe.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
Candace
yeah.
Cameron. I don't know what her married
Yeah.
name is, but Candace Cameron is behind it.
yes,
So
yeah.
she's. Yeah. Listen, guys, I got to go.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it's
We
10,
continue if you
15.
want. I just have to.
No, it's really time. I mean, I knew we're not going to do 2 hours. I'm waiting for Hannah to come in here too. So Spence, Merle, and everybody else have a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Merle, I'll probably see you later on in the hangout.
Yes, sir. I'll be around a little later. You guys have a
All
good
right,
one.
You too. Spence,
All right, see you,
thanks,
Merle.
thanks for waking up and doing it with me.
Oh, no problem.
Otherwise, I would be home on my lonesome. All right. So, anybody want to add anything before I sign off? Nope. So, good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Dana. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Actually, at noon today, it's going to be the Gisela show, and she just sent me during the show here. She sent a notice. She said, "Yeah, I'm doing a show." So noon today. See everybody.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.